Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this lesson. Today I am going to discuss line by line explanation of Act 3, Scene 1, Macbeth. So children, here I begin. And before that, let me ask you, have you subscribed to my channel? If you have not subscribed up till now, then please do. And watch the video till end. And press the like button if you have liked it. And I'm sure you're going to like it, as these lessons will be very beneficial for you in your exams. So children, let us begin. Act 3, Scene 1. In this scene, Banquo enters. Banquo. Thou hast it now, King, Corder, Glamis, all, as the weird woman promised, and I fear thou playest most folly for it. So Banquo is saying, you have it now, you are the king, the Thane of Corder and the Thane of Glamis, just as the witches promised. And I fear that you used foul play to get it. He is saying that you have not used the correct means, the correct way to become a king, but your ways were foul, that it was not in a proper manner you have become a king. Yet it was said, it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. Then he says, but the witches also promised that your descendants would not be kings, and that my descendants would form a line of kings instead. Banquo says, if there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why by the varieties of thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope, but hush no more. So now Banquo says that he means to say that if the witches do tell the truth, and what they told you, Macbeth, was brilliantly true, then maybe their prophecies about me are true as well, but now I must be quiet. So they were discussing, both Macbeth and Banquo, they are discussing about the prophecies which the witches had spoken at the time they were returning back from the war. And all the three things what witches had told to Banquo, had told to Macbeth, were proved to be correct. Though Macbeth had taken the third title by unfair means. So now a trumpet sounds, Macbeth enters dressed as King, and Lady Macbeth enters as a queen, together with Lennox, Rocks, Rods, Lords, ladies and attendants. Macbeth, here our chief guest. So he says, here is our most important chief guest, that is Banquo. Lady Macbeth, if he had been forgotten, it had been a gap in our great feast, and all thing uncoming. Means to say that if we had forgotten to invite him, it would have been entirely inappropriate, and our celebratory feast would be incomplete. Macbeth, tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence. To Banquo, Macbeth says, tonight we are having a ceremonial feast, and I formally request that you should attend this feast. Banquo, let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit. So Banquo says, I am always bound by duty to obey whatever your highness commands me to do. Macbeth, ride you this afternoon means do you plan to go riding this afternoon? Banquo, ah my good lord, that is, yes my good lord. Macbeth, we should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council, but will take tomorrow. Is it far you ride? So Macbeth says, if you had been here, we would have wanted your advice, which is always wise and profitable, at the council meeting earlier today, but will settle down for tomorrow. You will be riding far. Banquo, as far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go, not my horse the better. I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or 20. So Banquo says, far enough that the trip will take me from now until dinner, my lord, unless my horse goes faster than I expect. I'll be riding in the dark for an hour or two after sunset. Macbeth, fail not our feast means do not miss our feast. So be on time, he says to Banquo. Banquo, my lord, I will not. So Banquo replies to Macbeth, I won't, my lord, means to say that I won't be late, I'll be on time. Macbeth, we hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parasite, filling their hearers with strange inventions. So Macbeth says, we hear that the murderous princes have gone to England and Ireland. They haven't confessed to cruelly murdering their father, and they have been telling strange lies to anyone who will listen. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly, means to say that, but we'll discuss that tomorrow, as well as other matters of state that are important to us both. The line, Hi, you to horse adieu, till your return at night goes friends with you. So he says, go hurry to your horse, I'll see you when you return tonight. Is Flint's going with you? Banquo, ah my good lord, our time does call upon us. So he says, yes, my good lord, it's time we got going. Macbeth, I wish your horse swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Means to say that may your horses be fast and sure-footed. With that wish, I send you to your horseback riding. Farewell. And by saying this, Banquo exits. Macbeth, let every man be master to this time till 7 at night. So he says, all of you can do what you want until 7 o'clock tonight. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. Means to say that to make the evening all the more enjoyable, I am going to spend the time until dinner alone. Until then, God be with you. So saying this, everyone except Macbeth and her servant. Macbeth, Sarah, a word with you. Attend those men, our pleasure. So Macbeth speaks to the servant, Sir, a word with you. Are those men waiting for my instructions? Servant, they are, my lord, without the palace gate. means they are my lord, they are outside the palace gate. Macbeth, bring them before us, means bring them in to see me. The servant exits. So the servant goes away to bring those men. Macbeth, to be thus in nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. It's much he dares, and to that dauntless temper in his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guides his valor to act in safety. Means to say that if my position isn't safe, then being king is worthless. I'm deeply afraid of Banquo. He has a natural nobility about him that makes him a threat to me. He is a risk taker, and yet, in addition to his unbreakable courage, he also has the wisdom to act with care and forethought. The line, there is none but he, whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said, Mark Antony was by Caesar. So he means to say that he is a risk taker. He is the only person, and yet addition to his unbreakable courage, he has also the wisdom to act with care and fortnight. He is the only one I fear. In his presence, my guardian spirit is intimidated. Just as they say Mark Antony's spirit was intimidated by Octavius Caesar. The line, he chides the sister when the first they put the name of king upon me and bade them to speak to him. Then prophet-like they hailed him father to a line of kings. So he says that when the witches first said, I would be king, Banquo scolded them and told them to speak with him. Then, like prophets, they said his descendants would form a line of kings. The line, upon my head they placed a fruitless crown and put a barren scepter in my grip. Thence be avenged with an unlineal hand, no son of my succeeding. Means to say that then, like prophets, they said that the witches put a crown on my head and a scepter in my hand, but then said that I would never pass them on. My crown and scepter will be taken from me by someone from outside my family. No son of mine will succeed me as king. Means to say that the witches told him that though he'll become a king, but none of his son will become a king. But Banquo's son may become a king. He will be the father of the kings. So that particular thing was troubling Macbeth. If it be so for Banquo's issue that I filed my mind for them, the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put ransoms in the vessels of my peace only for them, and my internal jewel give the common enemy the man to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list and champions me the utterance. Who is there? So means to say that he says, if what the witches say is true, then everything I have done has been for the benefit of Banquo's children. Dishonoring myself, murdering gracious Duncan, destroying my peace of mind, all for them. I have given my eternal soul to the devil so that they could become kings. Banquo's sons, kings. Rather than let that happen, I'll invite fate to come into the battleground and fight it to the death. Who is there? The servant enters along with two murderers. Macbeth. Now go to the door and stay there till we call. To the servant. Now go to the door and stay there until I call you. The servant exit. Macbeth. Was it not yesterday we spoke together? So he is talking with the murderers. Wasn't it yesterday that we last spoke? First murderer. It was, so please your highness. So the first murderer says, it was your highness. Macbeth. Well then, now, have you considered my speeches? Know that it was he, the time past, which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. So Macbeth says to the first murderer that, so then, have you thought about what I said to you? You must know that it was Banquo who made your lives so miserable for long. You thought I did it, but I was innocent. So he is telling them so that they become against Banquo and murder him. The line, this I made good to you in our first conference passed in probation with you. Now, how you were borne in hand, how crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul and an ocean crazed say, thus did Banquo. Means to say that I told you all about it when we last met and showed you proof. Now, how you were tricked and deceived by the agents who did the dirty work and who they were working with, and enough other details that even a half-wit would say Banquo did it. First murderer. You made it known to us. Means you made it known to us. He is saying, the first murderer tells Macbeth, yeah, you had already spoken this to us earlier. Macbeth. I did so and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. So he says that I did that and more, which leads me to the point of the second meeting. Means in the first meeting, I made you aware that who was against you. Now in the second meeting, I am going to tell you something else. The line, do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Means to say that, is your nature so forgiving that you don't feel the need of revenge? The line, are you so gospelled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy heart bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever? Means to say that, are you so religious that you had prayed for this good man and his children when he's forced you into an early grave and made your entire life beggars? First murderer. We are men, my liege. So he says, we are men, my lord. Macbeth. In the catalogue, yea, go for men, as hounds and greyhounds go for it, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, sots, water rugs, wolves, and clapped all by the name of dogs. So the line means that, yes, you are a part of species called men, just as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, mutts, shaggy lapdogs, shaggy water dogs, and half wolves are all dogs. So he's saying that yes, you belong to the category of men. The line, the value file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, means to say that, but you can distinguish which of these dogs are fast, slow, clever, which are watchdogs, and which are hunters. So when he gives the number of names of the dogs, he can say you can distinguish among them. Everyone according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed, whereby he does deceive particular addition from the bill, that writes them all alike, and so for men. So he says that but you can distinguish the dogs who are slow, who are fast, who are clever. You can describe each dog based on the natural gifts that separate and make it different from the general qualities and define a dog. It's the same with men. The line, now, if you have a station in the file, nor the worst rank manhood say it, and I'll put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who were our health but suckling in his life, which in his death were perfect. So these line means that now if you stand in the list of men in some position that isn't down at the very bottom rank, say so, because then I will tell you a secret plan that will get rid of your enemy and bring you closer to me. As long as a certain man lives, I am sick. His death would cure me. Second murderer. I am one, my league, whom the wild blows and the buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless that I do spite the world. So he means the second murderer says that, my lord, I am a man who has gotten so angry from the beatings that the world has given me that I don't care what to do. First murderer, and I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortunes, that I would set my life on my chance to mend it or to be rid on it. Means to say that I am so sick of bad luck and being at the mercy of fate that I would risk everything for a chance to either fix my life or end it. Macbeth. Both of you know Banquo was your enemy. So he says, both of you know that Banquo was your enemy. Both the murderers. True, my lord. Yes, my lord. Macbeth. So is he mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thirst against my nearest of life. Means to say that Macbeth says he is also mine, means Banquo is also mine enemy, and to such a degree that every minute he is alive threatens my own well-being. The line, and though I could with bare-faced power sweeps him from my sight and bid my will vouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose love I may not drop. Means to say that though as a king I could just use my raw powder to destroy him, I cannot do that because we have mutual friends whom I need. But vail is fail, who I myself struck down, and thence it's that to your assistance do make love. So he says that, he means to say that I have to be able to grieve and cry over his death, even though I am the one who will have him killed. So that's why I have come to you asking for your help. Masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons. I have to hide my real plans from the public eye for a variety of important reasons. Second murder. We shall, my lord, perform what you command us. So he says that we'll do what you command, all my lord. First murder, though our lives, Macbeth. Your spirit shines, though you, within this hour at most. I'll advise you where to plant yourself, acquaint you with the perfect spy over the time, the moment on it. So he means to say that your resolve shines in your eyes. Within the hour, I'll tell you where to go and advise you about exactly when to strike the line, for it must be done tonight. And something from the palace always thought that I require a clearness, means to say that because it must be done tonight, some distance from the palace, always keep in mind for that I must be free from suspicion. The line, and with him to leave no robes nor botches in the work. Friends, his son that keeps him company, means to say that for the job to be done tonight, done right, you must kill both Banquo and his son Flames, who is with him. Flames, his son that keeps his company, whose absence is no less material to me, that in his fathers must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourself apart, I'll come you anon. Means to say that Flames, whose absence is as important to me as his father's, must also die during that dark hour. If each of you should decide for yourself whether you will do this, I'll come to you soon. Both murderers. We are resolved, my lord. We'll do it, my lord. Macbeth. I'll call you straight. Abide within. I'll call for you soon. Wait for me in the room. The murderer, exit. Macbeth. It is concluded, Banquo. The soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight. Means to say that it's settled then. Banquo tonight is when your soul will learn whether it's going to heaven or hell. So in this, children, in this particular scene, Act 3, Scene 1, Macbeth has plotted for the murder of Banquo, and so that he can be away from the prophecies what the witches had told, that though he will be the king, but his Banquo will be the father of the kings. So he doesn't want that prophecies should be true. So he is plotting to murder the Banquo. So in this scene, Banquo is pondered over the witch's prophecies, suspecting Macbeth's foul play to obtain the throne. Just then, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth entered and invited Banquo to a feast they were hosting that night. Macbeth inquired about Banquo's plans for the afternoon, to which Banquo replied that he would be going for a ride. Once Banquo left, Macbeth plotted his murder to secure his position as king and prevent the prophecies of Banquo's descendant becoming kings. He met the two murderers and convinced them that Banquo was their enemy, convincing them to kill Banquo and his son Flames. Later that night, Banquo rode with his son. The murderers attacked them, killing Banquo, but Flames managed to escape. The news of Banquo's murder horrified Macbeth and Lady Macbeth as it triggered their guilt and paranoia. So children, this is what is given in Act 3, Scene 1. Basically, it is the plot to murder. Thank you. Hope this you have understood. On this particular lesson, in my next video, I'll be giving you MCQs, then reasoning questions based on reasoning, and as well as question answers. Hope you liked the video and this lesson will be beneficial for you in your exams. Do like, share and subscribe my channel.